What's up, everybody? Welcome to another webisode here on Orange Grove 55. Today, I got my brother OG with me today, and we are talking about Six Flags and Knott's Berry Farm. OG, it looks like there's some layoffs going on here at these parks. What's happening?
It looks like that, sir. This is from the OC Register. Six Flags lays off Knott's and Magic Mountain presidents. The president positions are being eliminated at all 27 amusement parks in the chain, according to Six Flags officials. This is courtesy of Mr. Brady McDonald. Let me see here. The presidents at Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags Magic Mountain have been let go as part of the continuing fallout from the $8 billion merger that combined Six Flags and Cedar Fair into a North American amusement park juggernaut. Six Flags has laid off Knott's president John Storbeck and Magic Mountain president Jeff Harris. According to Six Flags officials, both will remain in their roles until the end of May. It says here that the president positions are being eliminated at all 27 amusement parks in the chain, and the roles will not be filled. Okay, according to Six Flags officials, some park presidents will remain with the company in other roles. So what are your thoughts on this, Webba? What do you think, brother?
So here's the thing: I'm not surprised because when this merger was announced, like this is a huge deal, guys. Like this is a big merger, right? And for a lot of normies who don't know, Knott's Berry Farm has been owned by Cedar Fair for quite a while now, right? That's why we have a lot of those crazy coasters there. But when that merger happened, I was like, this is going to be a game changer for the amusement park industry and really for Knott's Berry Farm and for all the Six Flags parks, right? I mean, OG, what was it that I was telling you a couple weeks ago was that I was hearing that Six Flags wants to close a good number of their parks and even some water parks. So it sounds like, what common practice does for these businesses is that they merge, start to restructure and reorganize because then they have a new business plan and idea path going forward. And they want to, probably chop off some of the stuff that isn't doing so hot.
Yeah.
Now it's unfortunate that that people lose their jobs because of this, right? However, I'm very curious though, OG, if we will see a better product for the guests and the consumers in the long run. What do you think?
I hope so. I haven't really been a fan. I love Knott's, actually. I think Knott's is a great little park. But for the most part, I'm not a huge Six Flags guy. We talked about it. I'm not a thrill junkie. So for me, it's really not my cup of tea. But yeah, this is a very expected sort of thing. And like you said, Webba, it's not great news. I never want to see anyone lose their job. But when you have two companies, Six Flags and Cedar Fair, and they both basically serve the same kind of product to the masses, there's a lot of overlap with that, a lot of redundancy. And so when these companies merge, it was kind of expected that this kind of thing was going to happen with layoffs and what have you. So, the money guys and the money gals basically looked at this, and they looked at their spreadsheets and their map, and they saw, well, you know what? These middle management positions, these president roles, we don't really need them, and it would save us X amount of dollars and what have you. And so they're eliminating them. And like I said, it's sad to see people lose their jobs, but hopefully, look, hopefully with Disney kind of expanding, right, and with Universal going like crazy aggressive with their park business, maybe some of these executives can land somewhere else with Disney or Universal, with two of the big boys, right? So that would be kind of cool if they could find other positions. And I think they will. I do think that a lot of these executives will find a home somewhere else. But it's sad. I mean, back in the day, Matt May, which was a beloved president at Disneyland Resort. People loved Matt May. He really just kind of like, what's the word for it? Coordinated an amazing 50th anniversary for Disneyland back in like 2005. One of the most beloved executives at Disney in my lifetime, at least, right? But he ended up leaving Disney, and where did he go? He went to Cedar Fair. He was a CEO of Cedar Fair for years. So there's a lot of like back and forth with these companies. So some of these people will definitely move on to other companies, I'm sure. So
no, OG, very well said, and I 100% agree with that. So I want to ask you this too. So, you always hear a lot of times that, there's some people, like some normies I've talked to. I guess you could say I'm a normie when it comes to Six Flags and even Knott's, because I don't really go to those parks at all, right? Last time I went to Knott's, I was like 12. Six Flags, I've gone like 2 or 3 times in my life. And like you, I'm not a coaster guy.
Well, you ever been to Soak City?
No, I've not been to Soak City. Not yet, OG. But me and you got to go, bro. Knott's the past, last year, they've had some issues with some of the locals or like teenagers around that area. So do you think that because of the price difference, right, that it attracts, how should I put it? It attracts kind of unwanted behavior in these parks. I'll put it that way.
Okay. I'll say this. I'm a big advocate for affordability because there are so many families that are like not rich that I would love to see them be able to experience everything, right? Whether it be Disney or whatever amusement park they want to take their family to. So it is sad when families are priced out, right?
Right.
So, and I advocate for, I want low income families to also be able to experience these places. So, I mean, 100%. But here's the thing, though. Unfortunately, and this is a very small amount of people, but it is still the situation. When you have like super cheap tickets, people aren't as invested in the experience and don't care as much. So when you can get into this park for like $35 with a Coke can, right, or whatever, your behavior is not going to be the same at that park as it would be if you dished out $1,000 Disney vacation for 2 days, right? So it does make a difference. So because the price of admission, the price of hotel, whatever it is, that whatever the price tag is to get into and enjoy these parks is kind of like an investment for that family or for the guest. And the more money you put into something, the more you're going to kind of like value it, so to speak. So like, for example, right, ladies at home, right? I mean, you have the purse you bought at like at Mervyn's, the little coin purse at Mervyn's you bought for $15, and then you have like your Chanel bag that's like 10 grand. Okay, what purse are you going to be more careful around, like to make sure that it's not getting like scuffed and like stained or whatever? The $10,000 Chanel bag, right? Same thing with theme parks. When you pony up an arm and a leg to get into Disney, you're going to be like, wow, we spent a fortune on this vacation. It's going to be freaking perfect. When you pay $37 to get into Six Flags, it's going to be different, And like I said, it's not everybody, but there are kids who are very immature, who don't know how to, and they just act stupid. And so it's unfortunate, it is.
Yeah, and here's it's not only just that, because recently, right, and I've been sharing this a lot, there's been like 4 or 5 instances now with Disney where we've had like naked people run it through Disney. Like there was a video I saw on Instagram where there was a dude had a shirt off in DCA. He was like trying to act all tough and fight this other dude. And so again, like I'm not just pinning it on Six Flags and Knott's, because like you said, right, it's nice when families can have the opportunity and affordability to go to these parks, of course.
Absolutely.
However, I think these parks also always have the guest safety in mind too, right? Like, okay, we want to have a safe place for families to come and visit, right? However, so I hope that with the kind of cost cutting that the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation is doing, I hope that they get rid of the parks that aren't doing so well, right? I mean, OG, I've talked about you for this type of thing with Merlin, right? Cut off the fat you really don't need and keep the main stuff that is really doing really well. Yeah. And then, so, get rid of those parks that aren't doing well, really invest in Knott's and your Six Flags parks that are doing really, really well, and make those, you can keep them as like amusement parks or like more thrill oriented, but, still make it a quality park. That's just kind of what I want to see as a theme park enthusiast.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope with this whole restructuring that this new company creates higher quality product. Yes. And you can still do the coaster thrill thing, but just make higher quality thrill and coaster attractions. Look, Universal is a great company. We've been very bullish on Universal lately. right? I mean, they're doing amazing things. Well, they do a lot of thrilling stuff at Universal. Stardust Racers is, I mean, honestly, it's just a coaster, but it's a very well done quality coaster, right? I could see this new Six Flags Cedar Fair company creating like Stardust Racers level quality attractions. I would hope they would, or like the Incredible Hulk over at IOA. There's no reason why, you know, that Six Flags, this new company, can't do something on par with that more often, more consistently. So,
yes, absolutely, OG. Very well said, sir. But everybody at home, let us know what you think about this news. Comment down below. OG, thank you so much for joining me today, my good friend and co-pilot.
yeah,
that Top Gun experience there.
Gun experience. Let's go, Maverick.
So, everybody, yes, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time on OG55. But before we go, OG, where can everybody at home find you on social media?
You can find me here on Orange Girl 55 and on Instagram, Orange Girl 55. Basically, if you're new to the channel, we do theme park content mostly, but we also talk about the movies, the film side of things, the financial side. We even do non-Disney stuff where we will have fun and just do like a music video reaction and things like that, right? Because look, I mean, it's fun to kind of break away. You know, you don't want to only focus on Disney and all that. So we do a lot of different stuff here. So check out the content. And Mr. Webba, thank you for being an amazing host as always.
Absolutely. See you later.
Snapping shots, swinging high, Mr. Webba, the city's alley orange grow where danger hides with web swinging action. He'll turn the tides, dodging bullets, leaping tall. Webba's here to save us all from the villains.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.